everyone, welcome back to the Bucket Think Tank for Books of the Week, and today I'm going to start off with the Fantastic Four, Issue 1. So our story opens up with Ben Grimm going on his date with Alicia to pretty much pick up cats, and we see Johnny Storm with a friend at a baseball game, and everything seems fine until in the sky is a Fantastic Four. Not the symbol, just someone actually fired off a signal that spells Fantastic Four and fire. So Johnny is super excited because that means Reed and Sue are back, Reed and Sue are back. And he goes flame on, and everyone's excited. Yet Ben Grimm isn't excited. He's just sort of like, it's not them. It's not them. And to understand this, you have to realize that Reed and Sue have been missing for a long time. No one knows where they are. And Ben has sort of moved past the idea that they're gone. It's like, they're gone, they're not coming back, they're probably dead. We don't know, we have to sort of accept that. Johnny is still holding on to hope that they're out there. He still believes that they're out there. And when Johnny gets to the source of, the words in the sky, it's just two kids who broke into Ben Grimm's apartment and took his, the signal gun. And this leads to a sort of, it's a big deal, and it's on the news. We're talking to Medusa, Crystal, Luke Cage, The Thing. Ben Grimm has elected not to speak on anything, and Jennifer Walters, who is representing the kids, says, like, yeah, this was a really stupid prank. It was actually a bit cruel, but they're minors. It was just a stupid thing, and we're going to resolve it peacefully. Johnny's not having it, wants them tried as adults, I think also because they were just, like, rude to him, but also because they mess with his emotions. And it turns out that Jennifer Walters was called to pretty much stop Johnny by Ben. He's like, look, Johnny's going to take this too seriously. He's going to want to vent, and he's going to want to hurt these kids. Not physically, he wants them tried to sort of make himself feel a bit better. And Jen was here to make sure that doesn't happen. So then we cut to Ben, who's at his apartment, and he's just making sure that that's the only thing missing from his, Fantastic Four treasures. Nothing there is, super dangerous, but one of the items he's looking for is a pink gem. And this gem is from an adventure that they had a while ago when, to get home, Johnny had to sing so the ship could navigate to the planet matching his vibrational tone. And the gem was given to Ben as a way, like, if you ever lost, look to this. And it sort of helped Ben come to a conclusion that he needs to propose to Elisa. So he proposes, she says yes, everything's great, until he asks Johnny to be the best man at his wedding. For Johnny, it can't be him. It has to be Ben's best friend, and that's Reed Richards. So he goes up to the sky instead of, fighting after Alicia calms him down, and he says, like, Reed, if you're out there, I know you're the smartest man in the world, you're the smartest person ever. I need you to give a signal, something to let me know you're out there. And nothing happens. So he flies down, and he finally has to accept that they're gone, and they're not coming back. And it's a really sweet, tender hug that is then undercut by cutting to a scene of Reed and Sue saying, like, we're going to send a message out there. And a giant four appears in the sky. We don't quite know who Reed and Sue are, but we know they're alive, and we know that they're out there. And that's ultimately how this comic ends, until we get to a little story about everyone's favorite megalomaniac and ultimate just awesome dude, Dr. Doom. So here we are in Latveria, which is in the middle of a civil war against the government and the resistance. This was something touched on a bit in Infamous Iron Man, where Dr. Doom becomes Iron Man. It was the coolest thing ever. And one of the women who's with the resistance sees a lot going on in Castle Doom, and she's hoping that means Dr. Doom is back. So she goes into the castle, and it sort of has a weird Beauty and the Beast setting, like when Belle goes through into the West Wing after being told that it's forbidden, so pretty much implying that it's his room, especially if you go in there. And she's met by the Doombots, who want to, have her taken out, who want to, exterminate her, but Dr. Doom calms them down, says, look, what are you doing here? You gotta get out. And she says, we need you, Victor. We need Dr. Doom to help keep Latveria safe. And she's like, and Doom's like, they don't need me. They don't need this. And he reveals that his face is back to being horrible again. And for Zora, she's like, no, that isn't the face of Dr. Doom. That isn't our face. And she takes one of the Doombot masks and hands it to Victor and says, like, this is what we believe in. And he's like, people fear this. She goes, no, outsiders fear this. To people of Latveria, this is the face of peace. This is the face of everything we love about Latveria. Because Latveria used to be the coolest place to live. One of the coolest places. It was easy to get into the Wakanda, to be sure, and Doom was a great ruler for the people of Latveria. And Doom resolves, like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. He puts on the mask. He hasn't gotten a new cloak yet, so it looks like he's just ready to fight everybody. And he's like, I will take care of this army with my own hands. And Doom is going to make Latveria great again. So, honestly, the Fantastic Four issue 1, if you had to give it a scale between 1 and 10, it's a 5. It's honestly a 5 because it doesn't do anything revolutionary, and that's to its credit and to its detriment. Because there's nothing amazing about this, but there's also nothing terrible about it. Doom, however, the arrival of Doom, the appearance of Doom automatically makes this book an 8 for me because Doom is worth 3 points. Like, anytime you have a book and Doom's in it, it's automatically 3 points better. At the same time, though, we have a problem with the fact that the Marvel 2-in-1 story hasn't ended, and that's with Ben and Johnny going through the multiverse looking for Reed and Sue. This takes place clearly after that, but we don't quite know, and some of the solicitations for Marvel 2-in-1 actually implies that Ben does meet the real Reed Richards, and the real Reed Richards returns with Sue, and presumably the kids. So what does this mean? What's going on? I don't know. It's like there's a real lack of unity and sort of these outside things going on here is all it can do to get me to talk about Detective Comics number 986. And here, if you recall, we left off with 985, the villain Karma with his mask that looks like an OMAC has kidnapped a bunch of kids and says that, I'll kill them unless Batman delivers me the corpses of his allies. And Batman's response is, we're going down there and we're going to wreck his face. And while the city is sort of in turmoil, Batman says, Alfred, put the signal up. They have to know I'm there. And it does sort of ease people when the bat symbol appears on everyone's screens, whether it's, the TV screens in the city, your own television screens, your phone screens, everywhere is the bat symbol. And Jefferson sees the symbol, says, okay, I guess it's time to go. And he wants to form a plan with Barbara and Orphan, but Barbara already told Orphan to go, and he's like, well, no, we have to work together. And he's like, no, this is how we do things. And he's like, fine, I'm going to go. You stay here, Barbara. And Barbara's like, yeah, I'm going to listen to that. And, she goes full-on Oracle mode, and she's communicating with Cass. And it's all going well from that end, but then Bruce says, I'm going to have to, cut off all the tech. So, there's no way that Karma can be able to, detonate the bombs by any other way other than the trigger in his hand. And he tells Orphan, like, look, you just secure the kids and look to the light if you're in trouble, especially when it comes to that C4. And so she goes down there and she's getting ready to, tell the kids, like, it's okay, I'm here to help. But she has no way of dealing with the C4. I'm like, okay, what next? Because she can't call Barbara. Barbara can't help. And then Black Lightning shows up and she's like, look, when he said follow the line, he meant me. Or here's what's going to happen. I'm going to have to create an electrical field to contain the C4 explosion while you get the kids out of here. And he's never quite done this before, but he says, like, look, just do it, just free all the kids. So Cass throws the Batarang in the only way you can in the Bat universe and cuts all the wires that, keep the kids, that are keeping the kids from moving and tied up, as Justin tries to contain the blast. Meanwhile, Batman engages Karma. And remember, Karma can read your mind, so there's not much that Batman can bring to the table that Karma's not just going to see happening. But Batman is able to get the jump on him by doing one of the best ways to stop someone who reads your mind: just think of something. So Karma says you have a lot of thoughts in your mind, and I'm just doing it to distract you. So that way, when he stabs him with the Batarang, he doesn't realize it's a rocket Batarang, and it just fires Karma into the sky. And they're all able to escape, just as, the explosion gets too much for Jefferson to hold. And then Batman delivers, like, he lays down the law. Like, I'm only going to say this once. When Jefferson Pierce speaks, he speaks for me. Is that clear? And Barbara's like, understood. He goes, say it again, Barbara. Say it again. And Jeff's like, look, it's okay. We're good. And then we go back to the mission. Barbara has tracked down exactly where the tech comes from for Karma's mask, and I'm going to go track him down there. But the question is, what's he going to do about that? About, the ability to read his mind? And his response is, katana. And my response was, Katana, another outsider, as in because she's also part of the Outsiders and she's outside the family 9 times out of 10, and that's how the comic ends. Detective Comics number 986 was surprising. I really thought that 986 would be the end of it, actually, the end of the whole run with Karma. I don't usually look up solicitations for future issues. I just make sure that they're available so I can just, like, hey, there it is. So I'm not too upset about it because this felt like it had a neat little bow on it, but we didn't quite resolve the issue with Karma. So I am looking forward to seeing where else this goes. And Katana's back. Like, I haven't really seen Katana since her New 52 book that I stopped reading like 3 issues in, or in Trinity War, because Trinity War was stressful, and Trinity War. Never again. Never again. But it's nice to see that, we're on the hunt again. We're on this nice little crusade. We're gonna get the guy that wronged us. And speaking of which, that's Supergirl issue 21. So, in the events of Rogol-Zar, if you remember Man of Steel and Superman issue 1, that, Rogol-Zar not only takes credit for destroying Krypton, he also destroyed the bottle city of Kandor. So he's got double genocide on him, or technically just one genocide. And Supergirl wants answers. She wants to know where Rogol-Zar's from, who he is, and she's probably going to put him in the ground. Like, on a power level basis, Supergirl is usually stronger than Superman. The difference is Superman has more experience, and he's better at controlling his powers. Supergirl at one point was trained by both Batman and Wonder Woman, which is kind of unfair on every level, but she's very capable when the writing team remembers how capable she is. And Superman tries to talk her out of it because he sort of goes in like, I understand. Like, he's like, no, you don't. You really don't. And she's trying to be very polite. She says this, Clark, this is your home. Earth is your home. You grew up here. You have a family here. You know Krypton as a place where you're from, where you were born on Krypton, but you were raised. You lived on Earth. That this is your home. Krypton was mine. I grew up on Krypton. I had friends. I had family. I had a life on Krypton. And no matter how much you like to, no matter how much you want to say and believe that you understand, you don't. You can never understand that. And she sort of leaves that conversation hanging. So then she calls the Danvers. She wants to go and find out the truth, but she can't just leave. She wants to let the Danvers know that she's going off somewhere, that she'll be back. But it's also really hard for her to do that because, the Danvers are effectively her family, and it's very hard to leave your family, especially when you can't really tell them why. So then she takes the spear, Rogol-Zar's spear, his axe spear, and asks Hal Jordan to scan the item. Because the last time Hal Jordan did a scan of something involving Rogol-Zar, it was a crude drawing of the symbol on the axe that Superman drew. And he first thinks, well, it's probably not going to come with anything, but then he scans it, and all the files are redacted. So the Green Lantern Corps has information, but there's nothing to it. There's nothing that they can access. Meanwhile, apparently 42 sectors away, a little alien has been monitoring the internet. And anytime someone looks up Rogol-Zar, he gets alerted. He's like, oh no, this is not good. This is not good. Someone's digging. We gotta, the circle must know. The circle must know. Hey, nobody finds Rogol-Zar. No! I don't know where that came from. Anyway, Supergirl is getting ready to go. She's not sure if there'll be a yellow sun wherever she's going, so she puts on a new costume that will effectively alert, or rather just store and preserve her solar energy for as long as possible, and she gets a spaceship, and Superman sends Krypto to help her out. And it's just sort of a nice way to say, there's no bad blood between us. Look, I respect your decision. If you need anything, don't be afraid to find a way to contact me. I didn't use the Green Lantern Corps to find anyone, but you did. Stupid. And here's Krypto. And they get in the car, they get in the spaceship. It's kind of adorable. Like, I've never been more in love with Supergirl than this moment right now when she's just in the spaceship with Krypto. It's just sweet and adorable. And they go off into space looking for answers about Krypton and Rogol-Zar. And as the comic ends, that little weird alien is sort of reporting. He reminds me a bit of Creeper from The Black Cauldron. And he's telling this mysterious figure about someone looking up Rogol-Zar and the spear, and the axe spear. And he says, look, it's fine. If Supergirl does, look around, she won't find anything. And if she does, we'll take care of her. So that's how the comic ends. And honestly, this was fun. This is kind of what I wanted. Like, the question is, where's Rogolzar? What's he doing? Who's got the most teeth in this? And it's not really Superman. It's Supergirl. Rogolzar had nothing to do with anything that Superman cares about, namely his wife and child. All right, his issue is with Superman, and that's something like that is happening in the main Superman book under Bendis, but it just doesn't matter. Supergirl has a more vested interest in all of this, and it's really great to see her taking this initiative, and it's really great that I'm going to be reading a Supergirl comic again. Yay! And that's it for our main book, so let's talk about some other smaller titles that we picked up. Superman issue number 2 under Brian Michael Bendis was something I picked up, and it honestly cemented the idea that I'm not going to be reading Bendis' Superman. I'll be reading Action Comics until that lets me down. Hopefully it'll be issue 2, issue 1002, so I can just nip this in the bud now. But the thing about Superman issue 1, like, the best thing about it is this little moment that Superman has when he talks about a moment when Green Arrow asks, how do you deal with hearing everything? How do you not just give up? And that's great because Superman's response isn't really his own. It's something Lois told him. That, yeah, it's tough. It's bad. You know, there's all this horrible stuff that you hear, but you know what you're always going to hear is good people. You're always going to hear good people doing good things because it's the right thing to do. That's sort of what helps him get through. That's why he doesn't turn the super hearing off all the way. It's because, yeah, there's going to be terrible things to hear, but there's also good stuff. And that good stuff is always there, and it's always going to be the reason why he keeps listening. That's great. It sort of communicates the idea that Bendis, to some extent, understands the ideas of Superman, the ideals, to some degree, and it's the only reason I'm still reading Action Comics. That Action Comics issue 1001 was pretty decent. And finally, we have Suicide Squad issue 5, Sink Atlantis Part 1. So, for those of you that don't know, Aquaman apparently made a wish during the Dark Knight's Metal, and while he didn't verbalize it, the 10th metal heard his wish, and it brought Atlantis to the surface. This isn't good because, well, you know, like, a couple people in government don't trust Atlantis, and, like, you know what, we need to sink it again. So they get Amanda Waller to detonate a bomb. They get what they think is a wizard, or what Waller has told them is a wizard, to go and sink Atlantis, and it'll be a harmless bomb. It'll be fine, just enough to sink the city back into the ocean. At the same time, though, Mara is being crowned Queen of Atlantis, while Aquaman is not King of Atlantis, and it's just sort of not even at the coronation, because he knows that it'll just cause more problems. So he's just sort of keeping an eye out. And while Harley, Deadshot, this unimportant person who we'll never see again, Killer Croc, and a member of the We Don't Support Atlantis being on the surface group are willing to help, they find out that, hey, I don't trust Waller. Deadshot reveals this isn't magic, it's a bomb. It's a nuclear bomb. She's planning to she's not just going to detonate this and sink Atlantis, she's going to kill anyone around us, and that's how the comic ends. So I'm only really reading this because it's tying into the Aquaman book, and we'll be going over that soon too. So this was a really solid introduction. I still don't care enough about Suicide Squad to really go into others, although Croc is sad because apparently his girlfriend, who was Enchantress, is dead. He's sad about that. I kind of want to look into that a bit, but overall, at least I know what to look for in the Aquaman story. And with that in mind, we'll bring this video to close here. If you're new to the Bucket Think Tank, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'd love to hear any books you've read or your thoughts on the books we've gone over here. Feel free to check out some of my other videos on this channel. It really helps, and I will catch you all later. This is the Bucket Think Tank signing off. May your fandom serve you well.